Good morning and welcome to Mr. V Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, share and hit subscribe. Fellow Zimbabweans, the political landscape in Zimbabwe is becoming increasingly intense and fascinating. One of the most talked about developments today revolves around President Emmerson Mnangagwa and former Cabinet Minister Jonathan Moyo. What began as ordinary political discussions has evolved into a complex struggle involving power, influence, strategy, and political survival. The situation gained momentum as debates about constitutional reforms and Zimbabwe's future leadership started attracting more attention. Within the ruling party, ZANU-PF, tensions gradually emerged. Initially, many people dismissed these developments as routine political discussions, but over time it became clear that deeper issues were unfolding behind the scenes. At the same time, Jonathan Moyo, who has been living outside Zimbabwe since the events of 2017, re-entered public political discourse with renewed energy. His commentaries became more direct and influential, drawing widespread attention. Regardless of differing opinions about him, many acknowledge that he possesses a deep understanding of Zimbabwean politics. The history between Moyo and Mnangagwa adds another layer of intrigue. Following the political upheavals of 2017, the two were no longer allies. Therefore, Moyo's recent involvement in discussions surrounding constitutional issues and political strategy has sparked curiosity among political observers. Some believe he is pursuing a calculated approach, carefully observing developments while allowing pressure on the current leadership to build naturally. Meanwhile, Zimbabwe continues to face significant economic challenges. Rising prices, limited employment opportunities, and financial struggles for businesses and families have heightened public concern. As a result, many citizens question why constitutional debates and political contests appear to be taking center stage instead of efforts to address economic hardships. Political analysts note that some of the most consequential political battles are not fought publicly. Instead, they occur through quiet negotiations, shifting alliances, strategic calculations, and subtle power plays behind closed doors. Many observers believe the current situation reflects this pattern. Some analysts argue that Moyo understands a critical political reality. Once succession discussions begin within a ruling party, unity often starts to weaken. Political figures begin assessing future opportunities, factions emerge, and competition for influence intensifies. Zimbabwe experienced similar dynamics before the events of 2017, when internal divisions eventually surfaced and reshaped the political landscape. Today, whispers about succession, constitutional changes, future leadership, and internal disagreements are becoming increasingly common. Such discussions can create uncertainty and heighten political tensions. According to some observers, Moyo recognizes how internal pressure can gradually weaken a government and may be positioning himself as a keen observer of these developments. Public frustration further complicates the situation. Many Zimbabweans are less concerned with political rivalries and more focused on economic recovery, employment opportunities, stable prices, and improved living standards. When citizens perceive political leaders as prioritizing power struggles over everyday concerns, dissatisfaction tends to increase. Despite being outside the country, Jonathan Moyo remains one of the most influential voices in Zimbabwean political discourse. His statements often generate widespread debate among government supporters, opposition members, journalists, and ordinary citizens. This continued relevance stems largely from his deep knowledge of the political system and the ruling party's internal dynamics. Questions about Moyo's long-term intentions continue to fuel speculation. Some wonder whether he hopes to return to active politics, influence future leadership decisions, expose weaknesses within the ruling establishment, or simply provide political commentary from afar. The uncertainty surrounding his objectives contributes to ongoing public interest. Another concern highlighted by analysts is the danger of political overconfidence. History has shown that leaders can become vulnerable when they believe their positions are entirely secure. If constitutional debates deepen divisions, economic frustrations persist, and internal disagreements continue to grow, maintaining political stability could become increasingly difficult. Zimbabwe's political environment is also shaped by historical relationships, liberation struggle networks, military connections, and long-standing party loyalties. Changes within these structures can have far-reaching consequences. As a result, many observers are monitoring current developments closely, noting that former political figures and influential insiders are becoming more vocal. Some analysts suggest that the growing debate over constitutional matters may unintentionally expose or deepen divisions within the ruling party. If economic pressures, public dissatisfaction, internal tensions, succession debates, and international scrutiny all converge, the resulting political pressure could become significant. Supporters of President Mnangagwa maintain that constitutional reforms are a normal part of governance and argue that critics are exaggerating concerns. However, uncertainty about the country's future direction continues to generate anxiety among citizens. Political discussions have become more frequent and emotionally charged, particularly on social media and public platforms. One of Moyo's greatest strengths, according to many observers, is his ability to shape public discourse. He understands how to influence political narratives, direct attention toward key issues, and sustain national conversations. In modern politics, controlling the narrative can be just as important as holding political office. Looking ahead, some analysts believe that if economic conditions fail to improve and political tensions continue to rise, pressure on the leadership could increase substantially. In such a scenario, some may eventually argue that Jonathan Moyo recognized the emerging challenges long before they became obvious to the broader public. For many ordinary Zimbabweans, however, the primary concern remains stability and economic progress. Political instability often affects citizens more directly than politicians, leading to reduced investment, fewer opportunities, and greater financial hardship. Most people simply want effective governance, economic growth, and a peaceful future. As Zimbabwe moves forward, leadership questions, shifting alliances, and strategic political calculations are expected to remain central themes. Throughout these developments, Jonathan Moyo continues to be a significant and closely watched figure. Whether admired or criticized, his influence on Zimbabwe's political conversation remains undeniable, ensuring that his role in national debates will continue to attract attention in the years ahead.